Okay, got another Saturday, going to do them chores and everything. It's time to hustle and flow and do that carpool confession. Had something completely planned out for you today. It was actually going to be about California buyers moving here and all the differences between California and Nevada. And then I saw something on YouTube and I was like, man, I need to kind of talk about this because it's something that I've kind of talked about, but it's been more of, like in social media and stuff. So I saw like a series of videos. I've been doing this a little bit because I've been reacting to a lot of stuff on social media, and including like when I get like fake calls, because, by now, figure it out. I spent most of my life in the military and, I've done some intelligence type work a little bit, not really. I wasn't an intelligence officer or anything. The stuff I'm going to talk about today actually relates to housing in a way, because when you get caught up in this crap, you ain't going to be able to buy a house. You ain't going to be able to buy a car. Your life is going to get messed up. And things have gotten so much worse now because of a lot of things, including AI. So I'm going to be reacting to a few little videos here, and I want you to start paying attention. And I'm going to tell a few little tales of things that have happened to folks, including some things that I've literally seen and how it's going to possibly destroy your life. And you're not going to be able to not just buy a house, but rent a house. You could lose your house, everything else. And it's because of this crap. So let's just go ahead and start it up and look at this first video that I saw, and it just blew me away.
Please stop what you're doing. Listen, please. The scariest scam just happened to us. I'm still very shaken. It didn't even happen to me. Please send this to your parents. If you have older parents, if you have older grandparents, please send this to them or let them know that this is happening, okay? So about half an hour ago, my husband got a call from my phone number. It had my picture, it had my name, everything about it. It was my number. It was like a regular call. He didn't even think anything of it, answered the phone. On the other line was a guy saying he was holding me hostage and was going to shoot me if my husband did not transfer him money through Zelle. My husband immediately started texting our good friend that's in the FBI, and that guy instructed him to keep the guy on the phone and try to have that guy put me on the phone. Like, if he really had me, put me on the phone. So Josh my husband is keeping him on the phone, trying to tell him to put me on the phone. In the meantime, he's also tracking my phone. Well, I happen to be at the hospital because my son had a doctor's appointment. So our FBI friend leaves work and is headed to me to make sure everything's okay. Josh was able to drag this phone call out for 5 minutes. And in the meantime, this guy is asking for, he's getting hostile and he's asking for the money via Zelle. My husband's like, I don't know what Zelle is. Do you have Venmo? Because he's just like trying to prolong the conversation. He's like, I really need to talk to her. I need to make sure she's okay. After about 5 minutes of this, he still wouldn't put me on the phone, obviously, because I wasn't there. So Josh, my husband, hung up and called me right back, and I answered, and he was like freaking out, right? Anyways, the scariest part of all this is that they call from your number and they knew everybody's names. So please spread the word that this is a new scam, because it is very realistic. It is very terrifying. And I know that a lot of people would just give them account numbers to get their loved ones back. Gosh, just spread the word, please. Hopefully, if we spread it far and wide, we can squash this and it'll stop being a thing.
Okay, that video may seem really scary, and she says it's a new scam. No, it's actually an old scam. It's called phone duping. Goes back a bit, but it's getting worse and worse. And as we start going through some of these videos, you'll see how bad it's actually getting. I'll try to see if I can find a video that somebody put out that's showing how bad it's really getting right now. And you see, here's the thing. It's easy for someone to dupe your phone number now. And there was actually an app that was on the App Store not long ago that would actually dupe a phone number. You can dupe email addresses, phone numbers, all of this stuff. And these scammers are getting so sophisticated. And what really reminded me of this is it either came out yesterday or it's gonna come out today. I was on a Zoom and I was at least being asked about virtual assistants. And somebody was asking me like how I hire virtual assistants, how I train them and everything, blah, blah, blah. Usually get them from the Philippines and all. And I've been trying to crack this nut on getting them from Zimbabwe of all people, because I know someone who got their virtual assistant from Zimbabwe. And, you know, she's like working out really, really great for them because they speak English. It's like really fluent English and everything because it's an English speaking country, believe it or not. You know, I know it's in Africa, but no, they speak English. And I go like, no matter what, just don't hire anyone from India. You know, I have my reasons. You know, all these scam calls that are going around, because some of these scam calls are coming from India. And let's be honest, some are coming from West Africa. I totally forgot that the person who was asking some of the questions, his wife is Indian and she was on the call. And I forgot, I mean, she was born in the US. In the Midwest. And I didn't even know until she had talked about the fact that she was Indian. She does not look Indian. And even this day, I keep looking at her, I was like, she's Indian? I thought she was Hispanic, to be honest. And even her last name, her maiden name, I did not think that she was Indian. So I made a video or social media going like, you know, I put my foot in my mouth. And right as I finished the video, I get a scam call from India. That I make a video going like, I just finished this video apologizing, or at least talking about putting my foot in my mouth. Then I do the video about that and getting the scam call. And as soon as I finish that video, another scam call. So let's get into this next video and we'll talk about it.
Around 3:30 this morning, while we were all sleeping, my brother and I both received a call from my mother's phone. It was her contact number, it was her contact photo, it was even like what was named in our separate phones for her. So in my phone, she is Mama, and in my brother's phone, she is Mom, and it came up like as her contact in both of our phones when we were both called. And for context, I live about 30 minutes out from Atlanta. My brother lives in Atlanta, and my parents live also in the same town as me, like 15 minutes away, so we were all at separate households. I received the call first, but I did not answer because I didn't hear it. It was 3:30 in the morning. I had my phone on vibrate. I didn't hear it go off. My brother happened to have his phone on loud. He received the call second, and he did answer because he heard it ringing and he thought something was wrong. When he answered the phone, he immediately heard what sounded like my mom, a woman's voice that sounded just like her, just crying hysterically and screaming. And so he obviously like freaked out and was like, Mom, what's wrong? Like, is there something wrong with Dad? Like, what's going on? And then before like she could say anything, a man came on the phone and said, I'm going to kill this bitch if you don't wire me $2,500. This man is like yelling over the phone, super aggressively, like demanding money, like saying he's going to murder my mother if he does not get money. The older brother is very level-headed, but at this point he's obviously like freaking out. He had not heard of this scam before. I had heard of it before, but even if I had gotten that call, I probably still would have lost my shit because I'm not as level-headed in high pressure situations like that. I probably would have been freaking out, but even he was freaking out. But he had his work phone on him. So he was on his like normal personal phone, and on his work phone, he immediately opened up Life 360, which if you do not have Life 360 for your family and your entire family on there, highly recommend it. It is such a good resource just to keep tabs on where everyone is and making sure everybody is safe if there's any situation like this or any situation just in general, car accidents, anything like that. Life 360 is a lifesaver. So he opened up his Life 360 and he saw that both my parents were seemingly at home, which obviously doesn't mean that they're out of danger. It just means that he had eyes on them. He knew where they were. So once he knew that they were both there, he starts trying to call my dad's phone from his work phone while he's on the phone with this guy. And my dad's not answering because, again, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I didn't hear my phone ring. Nobody's hearing their phone ring. So he's calling me, he's calling my dad, and he's trying to get a hold of somebody to, like, figure this out. After a little bit, he's not like totally convinced that there's no danger involved, but he is starting to see like red flags. Like he hears a baby crying in the background all of a sudden, which my parents don't have a baby. There shouldn't be a baby. There's no reason there would be a baby with them. And so he's thinking, okay, I know they're at their house, so this is weird. Why is there a baby? And then he also realizes that this man has not mentioned my dad at all, which you would think that he would say, I have your parents, or I've done something to your dad, and now I have your mom, or whatever. So he has not mentioned my dad at all. He's seemingly calling from my mom's phone, so he knows that my mom has her phone, and he also knows that they are at home together. So at this point, he decides to hang up. He hangs up the phone because he's like, this is weird. I don't think this is legit. So he hangs up the phone and he calls 911, and they confirmed that basically like this is a scam that is going around. They're aware of it, but they're going to send a car to the house just to drive by and see if everything's okay. So at this point, my brother feels a little bit relieved, but he gets in the car to drive towards my parents' house anyway because my mom and dad are still not answering their phone. He gets about a quarter of the way there, and then at that point, my mom finally answers her phone, and she's been asleep this whole time, and everything is totally fine, which is such a relief. We were lucky enough to have not lost any money in it. Everything was fine. My parents were fine. The whole family was fine. But is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard? I am so shook by it. It is such a traumatic way to scam somebody. Like, horrifying. Like, not only like they ask for $2,500, which in the grand scheme of things is not that much money, and that's why they do it. I looked it up and I did a little bit of research on it, and apparently they ask for that amount of money because it's an amount of money that most people could give up if they felt like a family member was in danger, but it's, you know, it's just enough for the predator to get some money, but it's not so much that it would be hard for, you know, the general population to obtain or flagged by a bank, et cetera, et cetera. But it's also just crazy that they do it in the middle of the night, or at least they did for us, because they do it at a time that, like, number one, you're disoriented and like vulnerable. And number two, like, you're not able to get a hold of anybody that like to confirm that this is happening or not happening. And so it is just like, it's so low and traumatic for anybody to receive a call like that. And I just feel like everybody needs to know about it. And again, I feel like it has been circulating on like social media, so a lot of people might already know about this, but if you don't, you need to. So anyway, I wanted to hop on and talk about it to hopefully save somebody just the mental anguish of receiving a call like this out of the blue. At least maybe now you'll have seen this video and you'll have at least some peace of mind, or just like an inkling that it could be not true. Share this with your friends, spread the word, because this is just the most predatory, low thing ever.
Okay, now that one's interesting in many ways, including the fact that it was in the middle of the night. I actually had a call like a few days ago from someone, and they were just wondering, like, she goes, well, you're not very talkative, are you? And I go, okay, I need to tell you, I wait until people say hello and things like that. And I tried to explain to her about operational security. In the military, we call it OPSEC. I'm sure by now you guys have figured out I spent most of my life in the military. And because of all of these scams and everything that's going on, one, I don't say hello when I pick up the phone. I wait until I see signs of life or hear signs of life, because one of the things that they do, the scammers, is they wait to see if you're going to say things like hello, and they're waiting for you to say things like positive signs of affirmation. They record your voice and they do things like this. That's possibly one of the ways they got the mother's voice for the screaming. Another thing they do with it is they take your positive signs and they will actually use that to activate services. You know, like, if you are authorizing this service, please say X. That's what they're doing. Another thing that they're doing is when you answer in the positive, they use that saying that you have a good number, and then they sell your information. That's why I put out a video once about never answer saying hello. It's because they're waiting for that. And it's one of the things that's, got me kind of ticked off. I want to contact the VA. They will, every time they have a call out, they will call you multiple times for an appointment. I mean, even before I'd started up coming here, I got another dang text from the VA trying to confirm an appointment for Tuesday. Another one. They will send out 3 and 4 texts, multiple emails, call over and over with an automated thing. But see, here's the thing. The automated thing will never start up until you start talking. So they know that someone's on the other end. And it's like they don't have the memo of what's going on. So all someone has to do to collect your voice is to just dupe a number from the VA. It's like, but I know, we all know the government doesn't have any common sense, whatever. So again, just going into it with the lady, I'm going like, I give minimal answers up front until I know that it's a real person because the AI has gotten so good. Let's get into the next video. This one's frightening.
Somebody called saying that they were from my bank, from the fraud department of my credit card, that there were fraudulent charges on my card. He asked to verify, he verified them, asked me if I did them, and I said no, and then he said, okay, I'm gonna cancel your card right away, like, I'm gonna help you out, don't worry about it. He somehow already had access to, like, see my transactions on that card, so he went through, like, the most recent ones, and asked me, like, is this legitimate, is this legitimate? I was like, yes, like, that I know. And then he somehow got access to, I didn't give him any passwords, nothing. He, like, already had stuff. He just asked me for, like, normal verification questions. And he was somehow able to access my account, and he wiped my checking and my savings clean. I've reported it to BMO fraud. And I'm going to the police station now to report it as well. Just be so careful when people call you. Please, just be careful.
Okay, you see how that lady was crying? This actually happened to me. Can you imagine what I would have lost? And I'm going to tell you the entire story about what happened here. Got a text from my bank and said, please call. We've identified fraud. And I call. And they did the exact same thing that from this lady. They were able to tell me all my last transactions. They were able to tell me my home address. They were able to tell me the last four, that's all they had, I'll tell you why in a second, of my credit card number. Here's how they did it. Any of you guys use Walmart Plus? Yeah, so they use an app called Spark. Spark is the app that's used by the drivers. Spark was compromised, so one of the people who compromised Spark or networks, dark web, whatever, they had been charging stuff at Walmart on my card. That's how they got the transactions. And of course, because it's delivered to your house, that's how they had my address. As a matter of fact, they did the verification thing like they said for this lady. That's how they got all her banking information, because they were asking for that because they were going to log into her bank. And when they asked for that verification code, that's what they did. And that's why the bank couldn't give her money back, because she gave them all of her information that was required. Because she gave it, even though they tricked her, she doesn't get her money back. Ha ha ha! Beelzebub, the Canadian devil. So I was suspicious, and the guy goes, listen, I told you your name. I told you your last four of your credit card number. I told you your last few transactions, which he did, because he had that information. I told you your address, so you know it's me at your bank. So anyway, I was able to figure it out. Didn't give him the number that bing bing popped up on my phone for them to then go steal all the money from my bank. This is why you have to be so dang careful these days. Oh, by the way, to this day, even though I was able to figure out the whole thing about Spark, Walmart has never reached out to me to say that our app has been compromised and your stuff was stolen to this day. Let's get into the next one.
$106,000 was stolen from my husband and I this past weekend by an online scammer, and we will not be getting any of our money back. It is gone. So this is what happened. I got a phone call saying someone was trying to log into our account and steal our money, and they suggested changing the password. They gave him a secure link to log in, asked for the code, and yada yada. That was their access into our account. So it went from 106 to 0 in the blink of an eye. And we immediately went to the police department. We've been in contact with the FBI, but you don't get your money back when scams like this happen. And we had a pretty rough weekend. We cried it out. We did all the things. I'm not going to get on this app and cry, but essentially, after a bad weekend, this is where we've landed. I know God is always going to provide for us. We have hit our knees in prayer, and I fully believe we are going to be just fine. God never promised that bad things won't happen to good people. Everyone's going to go through trials, but he did promise he will be there with us through the storm. And that is exactly how I feel now. That account was, not going to make or break our life. We are very blessed to have a roof over our head. We have secure jobs. Our children are healthy and safe. But that account was an investment in our future. It was going to help us pay for college or retirement, whatever we wanted it to be. But it was a luxury, not a necessity. We will be okay. But at the same time, it was a luxury that was only available because of my husband's hard work. He worked for years to build that account, and we have a newborn. She's a month old, and Matt has been putting in 12, 14-hour days at work every day to provide for us because he is such a hard worker. He works his ass off to provide for us. And yeah, the sleep deprivation got to him. He got a phone call in the middle of a nap. You know, when you wake up from a nap and you're like, what time is it? What planet am I on? And that's what happened. The scammers took advantage of that. And if it was any other day, probably would have never fell for that. He knows better, but it was just the perfect storm of he was exhausted and didn't know what was going on and just trusted the phone call. And here we are.
Okay, you see on that one, I don't know how many people can lose over $100,000 and then go like, oh, it doesn't make a big difference for me. Most people, they lose over $100,000. It means a big difference for them. Yeah, again, you saw that was the middle of the night. These people do it in such a way where they know you're going to be vulnerable. Again, I've talked about this in a video I just put out about when people in your ear, they're going, meh, 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 and they see all these things going on in your life, different phones going off, texts going off like crazy, and they don't have the sense to go, man, you got a lot of stuff going on in your life. Let me just back off. They just got to get their 2 cents in. And somebody's in your ear going, you need to just stop. Stop everything you're doing because you're about to screw up somehow because people don't care about what's going on with you. You need to care about what's going on with yourself because you can lose everything. You're not going to be able to, it's going to destroy your credit. You're not going to be able to have a house. You're not going to be able to have a car. There's always going to be the hater on here who's always going to go like, oh, you just want them to be able to buy a house and something like that. Yeah, you want to be able to have a place to live and not be, how do you say, unhoused, the politically correct way to say it now. I guarantee you don't want to be unhoused, homeless, as we used to say. I guarantee that. I guarantee you want to have a form of transportation. You want to have a car if necessary, even to have the money to be able to take the bus. Because people want to be able to take the bus even if they don't have a house. You want to have food on your table. You can lose all of that because of little stuff like this. Yeah. All the stuff, you need to be careful on what you click on because it's just getting weird these days. Even just making a video like this, somebody could just record my voice just from these videos and then just start duping people. Look at all these apps out there like 11 Labs and Play.ht. You can just take somebody's voice and perfectly duplicate them and just fool folks. It's just too easy. And they're just taking your voice just from your phone calls and activating services and everything. And then they'll come back. You authorized it. We have your voice. That's all they're saying. Oh, we have your voice. You authorized it. In this day and age, come on. You saw that one. No, her mother called up screaming. No, they just duped her voice. You can dupe numbers now. You can dupe voices now. You can dupe every dang thing. You're just plain not safe anymore. Anyway, just be careful out there. The world has gotten super weird, and I want to make sure that you're safe. I'm here at the gas pump now, so go ahead, take care of yourselves. Make sure you and your families are good. If you need anything, go ahead and reach out. All my military brothers and sisters, you know the drill. Alpha Mike Foxtrot. Rest of you folks, we still love you. And I'm going to keep them lights on for you. Next video's popping up. I hope you like this format because I want to bring anything that's going to help you out, okay? See you guys on the next one.